it's wonderful to be able to show them, because then they know, hey, now I've got some data to go, maybe they give you the highest number they can here or there, versus just giving you 5, maybe they give you 8 or 9, which gets you closer to that average of 63.52 on the under 300K, right? None of that's going to hurt. It's all going to help when you've got real data like that. But when you look at the average of what things will bring you on appraisals, it's typically going to run somewhere between 30 and 40 cents on the dollar when it's outside of normalcy. Okay? Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, what do we got? Room count, 2.1 baths, 3.1 baths. So our subject, 2.5, comp, 3.5, negative 6,000. So this house, our comp, has one more bath than our subject. They're going to bring down this comp to get it closer to this comp. 374, brought down, trying to get it closer. So maybe it was, now we can't see the rest of the adjustments, but look, you can see right here, just as an example, on the condition, they gave it $30,000. Okay, so this one is in a very different place, C3 versus C4, which we're going to talk about. But we're just showing you the example. We're not trying to get to the solution here, okay? But what did this appraiser do? He gave us basically on a 380,000, so we know we're in that 300 to 600K bucket. He gave us basically the full amount of what most people give, okay? So they're not trying to hurt us here. I don't want to go fight with the appraiser on bathrooms, okay? Why didn't I get 10K? Well, that's not where you want to win. Go win on something else. Go get data on something else, not on the bathroom count, okay? Now remember, you may say, hey, well, that's not, typically I don't even fight about bathrooms, but I see it all the time, right? Why didn't we get 15K for this bathroom? Those are the examples of what people are sending in when they're trying to fight, trying to get data and trying to submit things so that we can go and try to win the battle, okay? I use the term fight loosely because, we're working together to fight with the appraiser because we're just trying to get more value. No one's really fighting, we're just trying to get the numbers right, okay? Let's see. Okay, full bath again. Okay, whenever there's not a sales price, this is from a refi appraisal. Always good to see though. 645, so this is our 6 to a million. 1 bath versus 2 baths. They took off 8,000 to bring this price point closer to this one, okay? So this is above our normal number, so they're really helping us, right? This is a couple of grand above our normal number, right? So don't want to argue with them about this. That make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
What's the sales price on this subject?
Well, this is a refinance. So there's no sales price on it. Okay. So they're on an appraisal, their number will be down at the bottom as far as what the value came in at. Just the bottom of this page or the next page. So, but it's never on the up there where you would have a sales price because it's not for sale.
I feel like with the refinance versus the resale, they're more likely to be a little more flexible or a little more giving with the numbers versus the resales, right?
I would agree, and I would agree the renegotiation sometimes is a little simpler. Hey, if it misses by 10K on a $600,000 deal, let's say this one came in at 600,000, could you go find 1% or 2% to make the deal work on a refinance? They own the home, they pay it on time. Is anyone really looking that close in that QC world when these things make it to Fannie and Freddie? Is anybody going, hey, oh my gosh, this one, because it's all documented. They sent in a renegotiation, comps came in, the appraiser changed it up 10 grand and the deal worked. That's all documented, every bit of it. Okay? So I agree, Bianca, as far as just, do they care as much? I just don't know why, right? Because the loan is already owned, the asset is already backed, the borrower's paying it on time, who cares, right? But I did have one that we just closed, we needed 300,000. It came in at 290. We had some really good comps. Send them over. And the comps in my mind, I went through them. They made sense. The appraiser came back and she gave us 292. On a refi, for somebody who had lived in the home for 2 years, paid everything on time, the home came in $4,000 less than when she purchased it. Okay? But she was going from 7.6 to 599. She brought $4,000 to the table to close the refi. Yeah. Because the math made sense. Okay? But the appraiser said, nah, 292, see you later. To me, it's like, you gave me 2,000, you know, 1 more percent, 2 more, a percent and a half would have made the deal work. She wouldn't do it. It is what it is, you know? So, you just never know. Yeah. Okay. Still full bath, Colleyville house, $979, $850. It is a refi. 3.1, 2.1. So they're going to bring the cost of this one. Now they gave them $10K, roughly somewhere in that, getting close to $1 million property, but they gave them $10K. Well, we all know based on our first graph, that's $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 higher than normal. So they're helping me, right? I don't want to argue with them here. Yeah, very generous. $10K for a bathroom, okay? To me, that math makes more sense. $10K for almost $1 million home takes a bunch of money to put in a bathroom. That, to me, makes more sense than the $7,000 median that what we were seeing on all the data across the board. Kelly, you? Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
So these are median numbers, not average.
These are real numbers. You're looking at actual appraisals. But when we're looking at our first graph, we're looking at average and median. Okay? So we're pulled all this data and categorized it per price point.
So I guess if I'm doing like a CMA, I would just take the middle between the median and the average?
I would, for me, if I was in your shoes, it depends on if I'm super close, I'd run the median, just for me. And then if I was trying to make an argument, depends on what comps I'm using. Maybe I'm providing, maybe the deal's super tight and you told your seller, hey, I don't think this thing's gonna come in appraised, but we'll go for it. But I'm gonna provide the appraiser a package so that when they get here, they've got some comps to know, hey, here's how I priced it, here's where the comps came from. I'd probably try to think in an average process then, because I'm trying to dazzle the appraiser to help me. Because if you make their life easier, it does help them. They're not having to go look at, they're going to take a look at your comps and they're going to go, hey, these all work, like for like, this makes sense, this makes sense. Maybe they go pull 1 or 2 more, but they don't have to go pull 5 more. What if it saves them 20, 30 minutes that day? Well, if they're doing 2 or 3 appraisals a day, 20 minutes on your deal helps.
And if it's hot outside, leave them in cold water.
That's a pro tip right there. Pro tip. All right. Acreage. All right. There are no examples. So hear me on this. We produce the numbers to show you one thing. Okay? That we didn't pull comps. We took all of our comps, we put the data in here, but we provide this to show you one thing, because the one thing that we figured out is that there's no way to really show in the world of land and acreage, how do you actually figure this out? You really don't, okay? So this shows you an acre in a 300K home is not the same as an acre in a 100K home, is not the same as an acre in Grapevine, as an acre in Arlington, as an acre in Mansfield. So here's what we do. Whenever we get to land questions, acreage questions, you can text me, you can call me, I'll give you an appraiser's number, I'll call an appraiser, okay? We come along and try to be your partner and go, okay, hey, you got 1.2 acres and all your comps are half an acre. How do you value that other land? Let's go find an appraiser to get the answer from, because this is their art. Look at the craziness in numbers. I mean, it just depends on where it is. And I don't know what the value of an acre is in Grapevine versus the value of an acre is in Mansfield versus the value of an acre in Weatherford. Right? They're all completely different. So you can pull comps and you can make some good guesses, but they are not equal. You know? So when it comes to land, the point is this. Let's just go talk to an appraiser. Hey, what would you do? And you'd be surprised. A quick email, a lot of times when they get back from doing appraisals in the evening and they're doing up their numbers, they'll answer emails. Okay? Typically. That makes sense? When we dove into this one, we were like, one slide, one explanation, and get out. Because there's no way to walk you through examples beyond, hey, that acre over there is not the same as that acre over there. That's all you got, you know? And when you start pricing things, you get to that conclusion real quick. That make sense? Okay. View, lot. Not all views are the same. Golf course, water, backs up to a pond, could have a green belt, power lines, commercial, big streets. All of that changes everything, right? Some things you could have 3 or 4 homes, you get good comps, but then your seller could back up to this road right here, and then all your comps are interior of what's been sold in the last 6 months. And that's all you've got to work with. So what are they going to do? How much are they going to hit your house? If your house backs up to a busy street, you're getting hit in value. It's not helping you, you know? All right, view, lot. Percentages, no dollars, okay? It's really hard, just like land, to put dollars on this. Percentages almost make more sense, okay? We're going to look at some examples. But percentages, it's hard to get to dollar amounts in this world, but this one surprised me. Whenever we have these big deltas, I go, why? Okay? But then, so you think about DFW. We don't have ski homes. We don't have a bunch of lake homes, really, because, I mean, we've got some lake homes, but, you know, it just depends on what lake and what the price points are. But we do have a bunch of homes on golf courses, okay? So if you think about where are you going to get a much higher cost, or somebody's giving you a bigger value in views, my guess would be golf course homes, okay? So look, 600 to $1 million. You got a bunch. What are you thinking?
I was just thinking, I think it is lake. I think that,
Could be.
yeah.
I mean, we have interior lakes, but we don't have, we don't have yeah, I mean, you've got the amount of homes being sold on those lakes versus the amount of homes being sold on golf courses. That's the only thing that I could get to where you would have this huge delta between this price point in homes. You're going to have way more homes on golf courses and on lakes in this category than you are over here. Look how tight those are, right? Super tight. And even this, it's fairly tight, 1%. So 1% of $1 million, 10 grand. But here, 2 and 3%, you know? So you could have an $18,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 price point difference here on what they're doing. So the question is where and why? All right? Okay, here's an example. View, beneficial or better, residential park. Neutral residential. Not beneficial, neutral, meaning not as good, okay? So they gave this comp plus 10,000 to get it closer to this comp. Okay? They gave them a $10,000 upcharge to help move this comp. This house is sitting on a park in a neighborhood with a beneficial view. This house is basically just looks at their neighbor in the front and the back. Nothing crazy. But they gave them a $10,000 adjustment to help. It's a pretty big adjustment. Think about this. Wait, what was our price point? 350. So our 3 to 600. On the high side is 2.79 on the high side. So 350 would be almost 10 grand. Okay. So they're helping us, right? We're in the higher side of their number. this adjustment helps us. Okay? Do I want to go argue with this appraiser? No. Right? Another. Now look at this one. This one puzzled me. Neutral,
Versus
residential greenbelt. Nothing. So in this appraiser's mind, the greenbelt is equal to the park. And I go, but he's calling it neutral and not beneficial or better. So is that greenbelt, I don't have a picture, but is that greenbelt, does it have those big sidewalks through it? If it does, maybe they treat it in theory like a park. So maybe you can give it a little more value, but they gave it none. Right? We're just looking at the data, trying to go, okay, what do we do on our next appraisal when we're doing our next set of comps, our next CMA? How do these appraisers think? What does the actual data look like? Okay? To me, that was puzzling, but consistency in residential, both 10,000. Okay? They're trying to help the value of this property. So they're helping me. 10,000. They're on the highest side of that, of our averages. You know, way above the median, they're on the high side of the average. That makes sense? Kind of.
That's why we're realtors and not appraisers.
Well, that's why I'm a lender and not appraiser. You know, but to look at the data and go, okay, why? What does this mean? How do we use this in what we've got to do today? You know, that's the thing. View lot in residential, neutral, house to house, nothing crazy. Water. They took 15K off because this house looks at water. But they don't call it beneficial. Well, if I'm looking at water and they give me a $15,000, that's a big bump, okay? Trying to bring this sales price to help. But they're $100,000 off. The homes are $100,000 difference. Are y'all starting to see art versus science? You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
So my little acronym is, if I can mention.
Yeah, please.
If the comp is poor, add it's CPA.
Okay.
Or it's CBS. If the comp is better, subtract. That's how I keep that straight.
Okay.
CBS or CPA.
That's it. That's right. That's exactly right. If it's better, you've got to subtract to get it closer to the subject of what you're trying to price out. Okay? Okay, look at this one. We're almost to $1 million on our subject. First comp, under $1 million. Second comp and third comp, over $1 million. Look, almost $1.5 million. Okay? We got some big adjustments on this. View. Water. Is it a lake? Is it a big pond? I don't know. Look where it's at. It's in Saginaw. Well, there's not a whole lot of... you got Lake Worth, you know. Is it on the lake? Don't know. Yep, Eagle Mountain's it's the only thing there in Saginaw. But that's your first comp, right? $40,000, okay? That's a big bump to get us closer to that. Well,
3 miles away.
3 miles away. There you go. Surprised me. Look at this one. 40,000, same thing. In residential. These are just in neighborhoods. And they're comping it to a house with water. Obviously, there's no comps around this house with water because they're just using some houses down the street and not in the same neighborhood. Over 3 miles, over 3 miles. And then you go, basically this one must be close to this one. North Shore, I would assume that's probably close to the lake or on the lake.
That one has a water they didn't.
Water, 0 comp, okay? Consistent. So they found 1 comp, but look at our price, 1.27. So you're $265,000 off, you know?
So why would that have 2 address numbers on the subject?
2 addresses on the subject, 2 lots, a double lot of some sort. So garages. Let's come back to a little bit of normalcy. Okay, garages. A little simpler to put a number on, right? Under 300, 5K median, Average 57.97, pretty tight, okay? 300 to 600, 8,000. Look how tight that is. That lets you know, hey, when the appraisers are looking at that price point, they're basically calling everything $8,000. You got an extra garage, $8,000. You don't have an extra garage, $8,000. Okay, so they have they got a normalcy that they use, right?
Is that one garage space?
One garage. That's it. So a 2 versus a 3, you get $8,000. You know? When you go up to the 600 to $1 million, you get 10. Look how tight that is. And then when you go $1 million up, you know, some of those homes and that, you know, they got 4, 5, 6, you know, like Ron's got 14 garages. He's got 19 cars. You got to have a bunch of garages.
All them toys, where's that? Yeah, right. Out behind us.
But it gives you a sense. Look how tight the averages and the medians are all across the board on garages. Okay? Garages, pools, bathrooms, they're all fairly close. Okay? The pool one's fun. All right. Any questions about this one? Let's look at a couple examples. Garage, carport. One carport, one double wide space. One garage, one double wide. Negative 8,000. Okay? Now, sub $300,000 home. Okay? A lot of homes in that price point don't have garages, right? They got carports. So this has a carport and it's got a space to park underneath it or a space to park out in front of it. It doesn't have a garage. So he took off 8,000 because this house has a garage. 8,000 bucks. Okay? And this is above the norm. Normally that's 5. They gave them 8. Right? So they're helping us. This helps us. Okay? Any questions on that?
Would that be different if you had a double wide, like if it was just a single garage? Is that showing like a 2 side by side
They're
for
showing,
that
yep,
$8,000?
yep.
So would it be the cheaper amount or the lesser amount, whatever, for just a single, like a single house, single garage?
Typically, I mean, it depends. So it just depends on the rest of the comps that they find, you know? So you'll see variations of it. Like this one is 2 garage, 2 double wide spaces outside of it, right? And then you got 3 garage, 3 double wide spaces outside of it. So meaning what they're saying is you got a garage and you can park in front of the garage, okay? Because there are homes where you have a garage door, you pull in, there's nothing to park in front of it because it's on an alley, okay? We don't have a ton of it, but nonetheless, it is a category, all right? So, but that's the way it's categorized.
Okay, so Jeff, she was asking, was that a single car,
Let's
car garage on the slide before this one? But
Right.
it shows one garage, so that seems.
One
like
carport, one double wide.
It seemed like it would be for one car.
That's what this
On
says.
the next slide, you got 2 cars and 3 cars, so
Yep.
then,
This says it's just 1 and 1. So you got one carport and a place. It says DW, we don't know if he did it wrong or right. It's not, in theory, it should be 1 SW if it was one place to park, but he could have 2 places to park here and they only put up 1 carport right here.
no, I'm not asking about I'm just asking about the garage only, not the other space to park.
Yeah.
That says 1 GB.
Yeah,
So one garage door, is it a double door or is?
And she's asking, is it a double door?
just 1. No, just 1. This is 1 garage door. No, one car. One car garage, 1 bay.
One bay.
Because on the next slide, it has 2
Yes.
garage and 3.
2 and 3.
This is 1
Yep.
garage for
One bay.
car. Yes.
Yep, that's right, that's right.
So like
So
double
1 just
door.
means 1 space, 1 garage door, 1 car. Think of it as 1 car.
Yes.
1 car, 2 car, 3 car, 4 car.
8,000 for 1 car.
Yeah,
You got 2 cars, 16,000.
So if the seller of the home has no garage and they add a 2-car garage, they can assume about a 16,000 increase.
think about it. You know it's going to cost a bunch of money to put that on too. You know, it's good for the person that lives there, but when you go to sell it, you know, just like her bathroom question, you're not gonna get all your money back. You know, if it took you $50,000 to put up that, you know, construction's up there. If it took you a bunch of money to build the garage and you only getting 16,
HGTV be foolish.
you think?
They never tell us the numbers either.
No. Okay. Thank you for the good clarification.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Attached and detached don't make a difference.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. So always think of detached and attached and detached versus like this. You lose money if you got to walk outside into the rain and get into your car. Okay? That is worth less money.
There's a little breezeway that's covered that make a difference.
If it's detached, they're going to hit you for it. Okay?
Is it a lot?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a lot, but they're going to,
It's worth less.
it's just worth less. That's a good way to say it. You kind of see it all. Where is it, $1,000 or $2,000? You know, it was hard. There's not so many comps to be able to pull that kind of data where you can get a good sense of it. Some things we just don't have enough of, right? There's a bunch of detached garages, but there's not enough in a pool of 750, you know, appraisals to make a decent argument, so to say. If I only had 15 examples, it wouldn't be a good sample. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is our 300 to 600 category. Look at our sales price. 2-car versus 3-car. They took off 10,000 of the 3-car to bring it closer to the 2-car. Right? So they're helping us. Right? Now, if this was a $3,000 adjustment, we want to go fight this. Right? It wasn't enough. Okay? If it came in at value, we don't care. Right? Remember, the thought process, does it come in at value or doesn't it? Are we trying to fight about something or are we not? Okay? But they gave us good value for what the averages and the medians are for this one. Did it come in at value? Great. Perfect. We love it. Next. Okay? Make sense? It always goes back to the did it come in at value. 875, so this is a refi appraisal, nothing in the sales price. 875, 950, 780, okay. 2-car, first comp, 0. 2 garage, 2 double wide, 3, negative 12,000, so they took 12,000 off to get it closer to this one. Took 12,000 off to get it closer to this one, so at least they're valuing it the same. You always want to see consistency if you can, right? Now, if this was let's say this didn't hit and they gave this one 12 and then they gave this one 5, then you're going to go argue this one, okay? Hey, look, you're going to be consistent. That garage is not different in this sales price versus that sales price in theory. It's just a garage, okay? So that'd be something I could argue about. Make sense?
That one has the epoxy floor.
But in theory, they shouldn't really be able to say, hey, the epoxy floor is going to give you X amount of dollars. Everybody's got to have a floor. A floor is a floor in a garage.
Right.
There's no expectation of an epoxy versus non-epoxy. Good point though, because hey, epoxy floors in garages, they cost a bunch of money.
Can I,
Yes, please.
can you go back to that last one?
Yeah.
I know it wasn't highlighted, but I'm just looking at the square footage there.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I reading it right? If it's less than 100 square feet difference, it doesn't matter?
If it's less, okay, give me the full context of your thought.
First, the subject and then the first comp, they're like less than 100. Just over
Like, is it a
100
true
square feet
comp is
difference.
what you're asking? Like, would that-
2,600 versus 3,100.
No, 2,600 living area versus 2,513 square feet of living area.
Oh, okay. So when you're saying, does or doesn't it
Then
matter?
says zero adjustment was made.
Yes. Well, that's what they did. I'm with you on that. Does everybody take that? I would say you're going to see that pretty normal. You know, that's going to be fairly close.
Less than 100 square feet is kind of the rule of thumb.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really looked at that a ton. I've seen a few like that. It just depends you're gonna have engineers that go, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't compute, okay? Then you're gonna have salespeople go, yeah, that's a good rule, 100%, 100 feet, who cares? So it depends on the appraiser, because some appraisers they're gonna follow that rule, and some are gonna say, no way, a foot is worth this, a foot is worth that. Did it come in at value? If it did, who cares? Okay? At the end of the day. Here's what I'll do is I will, the next appraiser I talk to, I'll ask that, because these guys and gals, they have to go to conferences just like we all do. I'm curious about that, because I'll find out and I'll get you an answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. Anybody? Anyone? We good? Perfect. All right, we are doing good. We have 15 minutes for anybody who doesn't care about CE, and then we'll go until 150, 145 for the ones who want their 2-hour CE, okay? I think we had just 2 or 3, all right? Okay, carports. Not super normal in this world. $1 million, not a whole lot of carports, okay? Pulling into Tiburon and South Lake, or pulling into Mansfield National, have some carports out there, not normal, right? Percentage of sales price, okay? 600 to $1 million, $5,000, $4,000, $2,750 in the median world. So you can see you don't have a lot of value in carports, okay? But it is a normal part of the appraisal process. We see some swings in there for what people price things at, okay? So let's look at this real quick. 2 garage, 2 double wide, 1 garage, 1 carport, 1 double wide. So 1 to 2, right? They only gave them $2,500. Now, it's a $150,000 house though. Kind of makes sense, right? It's still, what, 1.5%? So, kind of on the high side there. But when you look at the dollar amount, you go $2,500, but it's a $150,000 house, okay? $5,000, still 180, but they gave them $5,000 for an extra garage. So they're helping us, in my mind. Okay, did it come into value? It's always the first question. Any questions about that? And really it plays into this, the smaller homes more is where you're going to have the carport garage discussion, right? 2 garage, 2 carport, 2 spaces out front versus 2 garage, 2 double wide. So this one has no carport. They gave them $3,000. Okay, so right in line, roughly. Let's go back and look at that 400K, $4,000 is our median. 400K, $3,000, so a little under the median. Could I argue about $1,000? You could, if you got some data, if there were some homes around there, okay? $3,000 for the next one, so they were consistent. So that's, that's what they think a carport is worth, okay? 800, look at this, sales price 800. 8 miles, almost 7.5 miles away, $300,000 comp.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but would that count also for like a boat or an RV, like parked back on your land? Would they value that?
I don't
Like,
know.
I have a client that he has one that's for his boat.
Yeah, yes, RV parking. They're going to get some value for it. Are they going to give you $10,000 for it? It probably depends on the price of the home, We didn't pull RV examples. That is a little different. Okay, I'd probably go back to what we talked about. If somebody said, "Hey, I spent $20,000 on that to put in my RV spot. Let's price that into the home." I'd probably say you're going to get 30 to 40 cents on the dollar. So let's start at a $10,000 thought process. Just know that's about all you're going to be able to add. In theory. Okay.
Those should not be common.
I know.
They should not, everything.
So what does that tell you though?
Acreage,
Yes.
they're different.
What does that tell you?
More than the home.
Well, it tells you Bridgeport. Okay, everybody know where Bridgeport is? Okay, way out there. Decatur. So there's basically nothing was getting sold in a 22-acre home site versus a 2.79 acre home site. There's just no comps, right? So hopefully you can find some comps because they didn't. Were they too busy that day? I don't know. But 300K versus 800K.
And 22 acres.
Is there,
And look, this is a purchase. This is a purchase, Bianca.
is there a limit to how far they'll go out? Because I know it says 8 miles, and typically we don't like to go out even that far at all. But it would make sense for them to go out 15, 20 miles if it's going to get them closer to the acreage.
Yeah. The world has changed. There's so much data being collected on everybody's property right now that the world has changed on distance. Okay? When you get outside of DFW, the distance doesn't become as important as a limiting factor as it used to be. It used to be you just couldn't do it. If there was no comps, you know, what's going to happen? You know, if they had to go, then you got to get, you know, permission. It's just not that way now. You know, if the comps for the properties are 10,000, you know, 10 miles away, and that's all you got because that's all that's being sold, it is what it is.
What
So
I'm saying is, he probably just didn't have time to go out further and look around a little bit more.
possibly, you know, but it shows you that this is a purchase on an $800,000 house, and somebody used a 300K comp 7.5 miles away. You just go, where's the science, right?
So we step in and say, this isn't.
Here's my data.
We're gonna go
Yeah,
out and look for it.
yeah. Let me go get you some comps. So if you were selling this home in Bridgeport and you couldn't really see anything, you know, in that immediate neighborhood on that lake, because I'm assuming it's on, you know, on the lake there, because there's, well, no, it's 22 acres. It's probably off the lake, you know, but nonetheless, you want to go dig and find comps because somebody didn't provide him a package.
Unless it had value.
If it had value, great, but you know, but look, $315,000 for the land. So he gave him $315,000 for 20 acres, roughly 20 acres.
Would it have anything to do with maybe it's the same build, manufacturer, it's the same exact manufactured home on two different parcels from the same company?
I wouldn't think so.
Because isn't that just an opinion?
Still an opinion.
Yeah. They're in the same condition, it says.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thermal windows, central AC, you know, I mean, pretty close to the same square footage, same condition, almost the same age, 3 and 5, Q4 construction, manufactured homes. I mean, they could be the same manufacturer, but still.
But 23 acres versus 3 acres, that's huge.
Gave them a really big adjustment to boost this up. So this, you know,
Now that's 620.
yeah, just from that.
Don't make sense, but that is, I guess they're not Wise County.
You're looking at appraisals.
We love them, by the way. We're just excited that you're here, Trevor.
I know. All right. All we were looking at for this is they gave them a $5,000 deduction on the sales price, you know, to get the sales price closer to that one. You know, to me, you see some of these, you're like, I don't even know what to do with it, right? But if it came in, great. If it didn't, next. You know.
It's on private road, so.
Yeah. Age of subject, okay? Age of subject can be fun as well. Sometimes we all think, oh, well, let's just go find all as close age as we can, and it should all be really close. Not all the time. Actual age, 0. Brand new home. 40-year-old comp. $10,000. That's all they gave them.
That's not a good comp. I'm sorry, it is not.
Right?
Neither. It's too hard.
What are we learning today? Provide a package of comps. If you are a listing agent, take 4 or 5 comps, print that MLS sheet out, put it on the deal, Make a little note when they call and schedule your, hey, I got you some comps that we're going to use. Here's where I got my numbers from. Hope they help. Okay? Y'all are looking at it. 40-year-old comp. Quality of construction. Brand new house. Got a Q4 construction. Did they make a mistake? Is this just data input incorrect? I don't know. I'd have to look at the pictures. Did it come in value? Right? If it did, great. Next. If it didn't, did whoever built this $275,000 house, did they do a really poor job? They could, right? 41 years old, plus 10,000. They were consistent. Did somebody build a brand new house where they're taking down mobile homes? They're gutting the mobile homes from the park and they're building homes. Y'all seen that? Where I live, Roanoke, Keller, South Lake, all those little old mobile home parks, North Richland Hills, they're taking one or two of them out, they're selling the double lots, and they're putting brand new homes right in the middle of it. Is that? Makes more sense, right? Just a thought. Look how close they are. 0.13, 0.15, 0.14. They're a street away. Right? Yep. But it just shows you how the way some of these appraisers think about some of this stuff, Once again, art. Right? The more data you provide, the better. Actual age, 3. First comp, 2 years old. No adjustment. Second comp, 2 years old. No adjustment. Third comp, 1 year old. Subject, 3 years old. $16,000.
For 3 years?
$16,000. So it's 2 years difference. $16,000 difference.
I've always just been trying to make sure that my comps are within 5 years. I've never adjusted.
And look at the adjustments that you're seeing on some of them. So, age is a tough one. It's not as tough as land or acreage, but it's tough. Okay? And I would think if I was an agent, 0 to 5 years, I think, hey, 0 to 3, I feel like, hey, I'm pretty much in the money, right? 0 to 3? I mean, you're talking about the same neighborhood that's not even finished being built. 1 to 3.
So what's the thought
16K.
process then? Sorry. What's the thought process then if, your client's one of the first ones building, buying a home in an area where all these new homes are being built?
They're going to hit it for value is my guess. So then if you're looking at a specific new home neighborhood, you're going to have to go to the new home salespeople and say, hey, what did you sell this home for? This first phase of homes, what was the average price there versus this second or third phase that you're doing now 3 years later? What's my price difference? And then you're probably going to have to adjust it for what they tell you as the comp. So they say, hey, we're $40,000 higher now. Well, you're going to have to kind of pick a number in there and go, I mean, it's 1 year versus 3 years. You would think it's really close, but to me, it's not 0 because they're going to value some, especially in a new neighborhood. It's either going up or it's going down.
So the logic of it's smart to be one of the first because your value's going to go up. Does that logic pan?
Only in a market that's growing. Okay, would that logic be the same in the last year when you have a lot of new neighborhoods that have gone down? So when the market's going up, the answer is yes, but when the market's going down, the answer is no. So, hey, the only time you're seeing people kind of upside down right now is in new neighborhoods where they were the first in 2022, and then when they go to sell in 2024, and they are upside down. Because remember, they're coming out of COVID and the world's craziest building environment where everything was stupid expensive. Now everything's good. Prices are down. They're crushed. They're in their home. They're staying. So it just depends on the economy at that point in time. $130. Age of subject, 51, 50, 29, 20, 30 grand. So our 51 and 50, $0. We get to 29, still $0. 30 years. But we get to 40 years. No, we get to 20 years. No, 30 years. And we get down here, $30,000 adjustment. Some big swings, right?
Well, the comp is better, but they put it all as Q2.
All same quality of construction.
I bet that house was cleaner.
Could have been, you know. I mean, it's hard to kind of wrap. Look here, residential. I mean, think about it. It's all in residential too. You go, okay, do I have a big view lot? Look, 1.5, 163, 106. What's that, a half an acre, 25? You know? So, but $30,000 adjustment there. And look at the sales price, 1.4 to 1.420. Super tight. Wild, right? Condition. Does everybody know on every appraisal there are 3 pages below around the survey usually that has all your conditions, your abbreviations, everything that you want to know about that appraisal. There's 3 full pages. This is one of the pages right here. We show you this. So every time you open up an appraisal, you can go down to, okay, hey, this says C4. I can't remember what C4 is. Hey, I don't remember what 2GWGA1CP means. Okay, go down in the appraisal. There's a huge, it's called the UAD, Universal Addendum Definitions. Okay, all of those codes are in there for you, okay? Pro tip, just a pro tip. C1 brand new, C2 couple years old, C3 house has been taken care of, C4 call it a 30-year-old home, you know, showing some wear. C5 and C6, you got problems. C5 and C6, we might not be lending on them. C6, we're not lending on it. C6 is hard money. C5, we got to go figure out if it even can be lent on. Okay? Make sense? Pretty simple. Condition, C3, 0, C3, 0, C3. Negative 15,000. Why? I don't know. Think about it. But it was higher, so they gave me 15 to try to get me closer to there so they can use this comp. They're helping us at the end of the day. Okay? That makes sense? Because that house is still $20,000 higher. So they just tried to bring that price point as close as they could.
So maybe they negotiated like to put on a new roof on the contract?
Well,
I mean, if it was would it be something like that?
I think this appraiser just goes, hey, this thing's close enough. You're talking about Converse, Texas, small town. This thing's close enough. Let's just give it a big adjustment to get as close as we can to the price point to make it work. When I see that, that's what I think. You know? So like, where is it? Pictures. Here, let's go to pools. We're getting close to being done. Let's just go to pools. Here, pictures are funny, right? This kitchen is different than this kitchen. Would you all agree?
Yes.
Look how small that kitchen is. Older appliances, laminate countertop. Little cheaper to build that kitchen versus this kitchen, right? Wider, different colors, completely different appliance package. This looks like maybe a wood top. That looks like granite, all right? Pictures say it all in appraisals, okay? Be conscious of your pictures when it comes to, hey, do I really want to put that comp in there? The math might make sense, doesn't mean the pictures are going to help you. Sometimes the pictures will beat you, okay? Condition, C4, C3, the C4 and C4, 0, which is good. First comp, C4, 0, C3, negative 60,000. C4, 0. There's not, you're talking minor wear versus good condition, minor wear on a C4, but they hit it for 60,000 bucks. But Look at the sales price of our home. Big sales price difference, right? In that sales price, C4 versus C3, you're not talking about a $300K home, you're talking about $1.5 million home versus almost $1 million home. Okay, that could be a lot. Teresa?
I just noticed that cash, those are cash deals.
Days on market.
We were looking at this earlier, these same, right?
I don't think all of them are they?
No, when you were looking at the site, like the addresses seemed familiar, like these are the same.
Oh, yeah,
Dixon and the North Shores for sure. Was it Grant?
I think these are
Look at the address, the double address on the
Dixon.
left.
Oh, this may be from the same one. Condition. B water. Oh yeah, this is the same one. You're right. Look, that one's water and that one's water. That's exactly what we had them. Those were 0 and these were their 40s. These were when we were looking at our views. That's right.
So there were some like question marks before when we had our discussion about these same properties, and so.
Because we were looking at the view, right? Because
Yeah,
they gave them $40,000 bumps for just the
So
water.
this one just has a lot of bits and pieces.
Yeah, a lot of little funkiness to it. Way different kitchens, right? Pictures tell it all. Be real conscious of your comps that you submit to a lender because the pictures are getting pulled as well, okay? So even though the data may be the same and you may think it's a good comp, you've got to go look at the pictures and see if you can find pictures because the appraiser is going to do it too, okay? Condition C3, 782,000 versus 665. Both the same condition. $75,000 difference. Look at the ages, 28 and 26.
See exactly where we can't win. We've got all the price reductions and.
So land, age, sometimes condition, a lot of the conditions are pretty close, but you got to go focus on the places where you can win, right? The data that you can pull and not so much focus on, hey, this has a half bath, that one doesn't. Well, that's a couple of grand you're going to get. That's not $75,000 that you could somehow go find some comps to make a difference.
So is it better to stay within the proximity and make the adjustments, or if you find one that's an actual like versus like, but it's further out,
Both.
it's included in one of the
Yep.
six?
Yep. Both. Don't be afraid, like Bianca was talking about, don't be afraid to go a little farther out to find a really good comp if you're in a more of a rural area and you don't have a choice. Don't be afraid to go 10 miles out if you can get some really good like for like comps on a barn dough, a log cabin, a home on a lake, just pull the comps. If it's a list of 20, send 20, okay? In a thought process. The more data, the better.
Because I've done it before, like in the past where I've used within the neighborhood and made the adjustments, but then on the appraisal, they were like crossing Camp Wisdom Road and using different houses instead of doing adjustments on the ones that were in that subdivision.
Yeah. I'm from Duncanville. It's real hard to cross Camp Wisdom Road.
Well,
For that's taking you into different neighborhoods.
I mean, so they were going across, and I'm like, well, why didn't they just use?
Yeah. Yeah. Crossing the big roads is your big issue always. So you're better off thinking differently about your comps than you are crossing major roads inside an urban, DFW, if that makes sense. Okay. Pools. Look how tight this is. This is one of the most surprising things. Under 300, you get 20K. Over 300, you get 20K. 600 to $1 million, you get 25. $1 million up.
That's more generous than I thought.
31,000. Well,
I know. Probably because there are less pools in this lower price point, and so their value is higher
I
because
always
of
figured
that.
it was like 12.
okay, I like that.
I can personally attest to this because I went to fight my appraisal and we have a pool.
Yeah,
And they said, no, your house is worth 20,000 more
that's
than
it.
all the other houses. So my question would be, so where do I start to say, okay, my pool needs maintenance? It's not,
Last
not
time,
helping it. this
last
time.
time I had that discussion, I submitted pictures to show them that our upstairs in our home, we need to redo a bathroom. We need to, you know, I made the argument, hey, you're pricing me at this, which is insane. I don't have the same home as the neighbors around me. I've got a 50-year-old home. And here's, look, my whole upstairs needs to be redone, and I don't have the money to do it. Okay, so
It's just that.
they will let you submit pictures
Yeah.
to the city, to the county. Now you're going to go to a review board, and the review board's going to look at your pictures.
Yeah.
So you got to think about how you take those pictures.
Yeah, so that's not.
Don't be trying to make it look beautiful.
So like in that, for a pool, you would probably get a pool estimate, like a professional estimate, not just picture.
So if you're saying I need $100,000 worth of work on my pool and I want you to discount my home by 20 or 30,000, they're going to say your pool is supposed to be functional. It doesn't matter, you know, either you fill it in, we'll take the 20 grand off. Okay? There are so many things where appraisers and counties and cities, you're supposed to have a roof. Whether you have a $200,000 roof or a $20,000 roof, doesn't matter. You're supposed to have a functional roof.
Right.
If you chose to put a $200,000 roof on, that's great for you, but you didn't do anything in the world of appraisals. Okay? Same thing in pools. Has anybody built a pool recently? $125K gets you a simple pool with a hole in the ground and some pumps.
Yeah.
$125,000.
Our pool needs to be
Get you one that you can just
re-tiled.
fill up with a little
And the
air
tiles
pump
are starting to pop
and
off.
put kids in. That's it.
Pools are insane. Okay? So I wanted y'all to see that because pools, bathrooms, garages, those are all pretty normal things. It's really hard to go and value some of this other stuff. So you got to go, okay, I got to go find comps to fight this battle because there's no standard. There's no normalcy. Right? It's the art versus the science.
Well, I had one, my last one, that it's a new build, and we sold the first of that particular floor plan in the community. And the appraiser came out, and it didn't meet value, so then I had a mess. We ended up getting the builder to knock off the price, but
Yeah.
they didn't have any comps because we were the first one that sold.
Yep.
And the other ones were either under construction or just a lot.
The first comps, you know, they got to have three sold homes to make the value of the neighborhood, right? So the first three people, they're in trouble unless they're putting 20% down, 30% down, something. Because if the home's 500 and it comes in at 475, it doesn't matter. Lender doesn't care. If they're putting down 20%, they're just not getting a full 20% value now. Now they're only at 15% down. You still buy the house. You're still bringing the same amount of cash. You're just going to have a little PMI. The first three homes establish the subdivision.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
That was
Yeah.
not exciting to have to.
Here's your first example, 300,000 to 600,000, 20K for a pool. No pool, 0, 0. This one has a pool. They took 20 off to get it closer in sales price. Okay, simple example. Second one, 25,000. No pool, they gave them 25 on 5 to 700.
There was a pool and a spa in that one.
Yep. So 25K, they were a little more generous. We're not to $1 million. Okay, they gave them an extra $5 grand roughly. All right. $1 million home, $30,000. Ain't nobody got a $30,000 pool in $1 million home. They got a $200,000 pool in $1 million home, or it was an older pool. Okay. Can we see the age on this one? Or an older home. This is a 22-year-old home. So yeah, when they built this home 22 years ago, pools are about 30 to 40 grand. That's all they're getting for it 22 years later.
That's the subject. That's
Well,
not
that,
even-
they're breaking even. And they got kids.
No, just the age of the home. But
The
my
age of the home on the
26.
on the comp
Yeah.
is 0.
age of the home on the comp, actual age 26.
Okay, no, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong.
Yeah, no
I was
adjustment,
looking
no
at the
adjustment.
wrong
Yeah,
column,
yeah.
Sorry.
But my point is that, you know, if you built that home and that pool that long ago, that's about what it probably cost. But I built a pool 20-something years ago, and it was double that, you know, and that wasn't crazy expensive. But you see what you get on $1 million property. So we're basically at our, we're about at our cutoff. If any,
Let's go some more.
we can.
I can sit here some more.
Okay.
This is important to me because I renovate homes.
Okay.
And so, for example, I just am under contract with my very first short sale.
Okay.
So, thank you. And I went and took that short sale course before I bought this one. Didn't prepare me for it.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything
6
about it.
months.
So now,
What it's
Sometimes
taking
they're
me,
6
I haven't
months.
done
It just
one yet,
depends.
and they scare me.
it took a very long time to get to close.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know is you buy it at one price and then they come back and change it afterwards, which is what we went through because the agent had it listed at one price. I offered them exactly what they were asking, which I thought was a wonderful, great price.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the waiting began, and the waiting began, and then the bank comes back and says, okay, we're going to counter offer at.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they own it.
Like, what?
They own it.
That
They
doesn't
own it.
seem like that
So-
could be even-
Seller doesn't have the ability to do
Or
it.
even ethical.
So I wound up going
Well,
up a
the
little
seller
bit.
the seller's short selling. There's no ethics involved.
Right.
They don't have the ability to offer it. You see what I'm saying? They are telling the
They're not
bank.
get- They're not, they don't get their price point
They don't
from the
get
bank,
anything.
they don't get the guidance from the bank, like, sell
No.
it for this and we'll approve it.
No, you can't call the bank and say, hey, I'm going to short sell this house. I'm not going to pay you what I owe you. What do you want me to sell it at? They're going to be like, well, I don't want you to sell it. I want to get paid on what I owe.
then
And you would do the same thing
Yeah.
if it was your money.
The bank sent an appraiser in to appraise the house, and that's why they countered, because the appraisal came back higher than what the listing agent had it listed.
There you go.
And so then the listing agent then had to fight to bring the price back down to where she had it listed at.
Mm-hmm.
And we wound up somewhere in the middle, but that wasn't what my question with the whole appraisal is. Now that I'm going to get into putting it back on the market,
Okay.
the house is probably the biggest house in the neighborhood. It's 2,700 square feet in a neighborhood of houses that are probably mostly 17 to 2,000. So I have now come to find out that the people put an addition on, and that's why that house is so much bigger.
Hmm.
But it had a really funky floor plan, and
Yeah.
they took the garage out.
Oh, yeah.
So
Good times.
with that garage, they must have had more family, and they kept building on
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the house,
yeah.
making this great big house. So
Multi-generational.
what my plan is to leave the garage the way that they had it enclosed and make a home theater, because none of the homes down here have home theaters. I come from, moving down here from Frisco, everybody has a home theater. And I just find that down here, I live in Cedar Hill,
Hmm?
down here, all the houses are at that I need to be renovated point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, don't open it back up and put a garage back.
Mm-hmm.
Put a home theater. How much is that going to get me by not putting back a garage? And then it's a 5-bedroom house, but you have to walk through another bedroom to get to the other bedroom. So what we did was we cut a hole in the wall from the living room
Make a door.
to go into what I have turned that 5th bedroom into a home office.
Oh, good.
So I said,
Good
people
value.
want a home office.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like a great big house with 5 bedrooms and a living room.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm changing it to a 4-bedroom house with a home office and a movie theater. So there's no comps.
Mm-hmm.
The highest comp really right now is I would say 360 for that size house,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to force it over 4.
It just depends. I mean, it doesn't mean you won't find somebody to pay it because maybe it fits their family size, right? So it's not that it can't be done, doesn't mean that you're going to get an appraiser to hit it.
That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I was really paying attention to, like, okay, that home theater, does it get me the extra money that I need to force it up to 4? It's already got 3 bathrooms, and I was thinking about putting a half bath in, and now we have come to the conclusion
Three grand, yeah.
That's no point to do that. New
The-
roof, new windows, new floors, new kitchen, bathrooms renovated.
You already did all the other stuff?
We're just getting started.
Oh,
That's what the scope of work is.
mm.
So I'm just wanting to.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
tell you all the numbers. You don't care. Purchase price $215
Mm-hmm.
for a 2,700 square foot house.
So you bought it right?
I bought it,
Yeah, bought it right.
but I gotta do new roof,
Mhm,
new
mhm.
everything. Took it down
Mm-hmm.
and building it back up, hoping to get out of it at 125. And
So you're trying to get the ARV of 4,
4 to 425 is my sweet spot.
and you're going to put 100 in it roughly.
1 to 125.
Hmm.
But purchase price $215. So
I would look real hard at your comps, because if your comps don't get you there, if it's in a cookie cutter neighborhood, you got the comps that you got.
it's in a neighborhood of comps of houses that are just a square box and big.
Yeah.
And this house is going to be nice. Nice.
Doesn't mean somebody's going to pay over it. Remember, the appraiser's just going to pull the comps in the neighborhood.
So then what is the...
You might go from
return?
C2 to C3, C3 to C2,
Right.
C4 to C3, right? Doesn't mean you're going to hit value.
What's the return for a walk-in closet?
A walk-in closet just makes your room a bedroom. So you go from a home office to a bedroom. Bedroom count typically will get you more in a home than in a home office in value, because you got an extra human that can live there versus not.
So with the office, we're putting a closet in so that it counts as a bedroom.
Okay?
Because that was the 5th bedroom.
That turns it into a bedroom. Now you get to count it as a bedroom.
Right.
Instead of a 4 bed, now it becomes a 5 bed, in theory,
Right.
when you have a walk-in closet.
So when I say walk-in closet, though, you know what I'm talking about as a walk-in closet. I'm talking about like 8 by 10.
That's a big closet.
Yeah, like HGTV closet.
Okay, then yeah, that's value. Is it going to get you any more value than a 5th bedroom? The answer is no. Now, if you provide let's say it costs you 10 grand and you provide all the receipts, maybe they give you an extra $2,500 for it.
Well, the reason why it's going to be that big is because you would have to walk through another bedroom to get to it.
Yeah,
So we're saying, okay, let's just make this a master suite.
makes sense.
So nobody wants to walk through one bedroom to get to another bedroom.
Yeah, turn that whole room into
The
closet.
room is going to be a beautiful, huge closet. You got your nice size bedroom. You got your nice size bathroom.
Yeah,
And it's like bedroom, closet, bathroom.
which gets people to buy the house.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're giving up a bedroom. So you're changing your comp count. You're going to get more
I'm
in the
changing it from
appraisal.
5 to 4.
You're going to get more in an appraisal for a 5 bedroom than you are than a 4 bedroom. But you're going to have more, some person who only needs 2 or 3 bedrooms goes, look at this big old closet I got. I want this house.
Right.
I mean, you know how the ladies are. They're going, give me that big closet.
Yes. Exactly.
Which makes somebody want to buy your house. Doesn't mean it's helping your appraisal.
And that's what I care about, the appraisal. Is it going to appraise? Because I don't want to get all the way down to the finish line.
But remember, not every home
Yeah.
has to appraise. Anybody can buy a home above appraisal. They're just bringing the difference. Yeah. We see it all the time.
I haven't met anybody come my way. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping and thinking. Because I guess the next level in the price point is moving to Lake Ridge.
Yeah,
So this house is like, I can't afford to move into Lake Ridge,
yeah.
but I want a really nice house.
Right.
And that's the sweet spot that I described to my husband. This is where this house is right now.
I got you.
Like somebody who wants a really nice house, but they can't afford to go to Lake Ridge.
Yeah, they don't want to spend $1 million.
Well, the houses in Lake Ridge that are $400,000 to $500,000 look like my grandma's house. Like it needs to be renovated from top to bottom.
Yeah,
And if you are like me, you can maybe afford a $400,000 house, but you can't afford to fix it up when you get in there. You're gonna live in there
Lake
just
Ridge.
the way it
Lake
is.
Ridge started when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Lake Ridge was started a long time ago.
And they want premium dollar for those old outdated houses that that now the tax is like $16,000.
Sure.
It's like a regular person can't afford to fix it up and pay those taxes.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's true.
So, what'd you say? Is it art or
Science.
science?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure.
Sometimes you can sell the market more than you can sell the appraiser. So in your house, I would say you're figuring out how to sell the market more than you're going to win the appraiser, possibly. But it depends on the comps.
Okay.
So, just as a thought process.
I have had luck before giving the appraiser every dollar that I spent on a sheet of paper, leave it on the counter with
Yeah.
a nice letter.
Yep. Still, it's a big difference.
That's a big difference between 360 and 425.
That's a huge difference because they can look and go, hey, you know what? I can give them an extra % here. I can get them an extra % here. They did the work. I got the numbers. I can verify it. I can validify it in my mind.
Yeah.
When you do that, you're helping what you're doing. There's a lot of agents don't take the time to do that. And then when something doesn't come in, they argued with the seller saying, hey, I told you I wasn't going to do it. Mm-hmm. But had they just gone and pulled the comps and had some good comps, they may have gotten it. Right. Or if the people they just put in a new AC that was $15,000. I'm not saying he's going to give you $15,000, but what if they give you an extra $5,000 on an extra garage because they can do it there, knowing that you just spent $15,000 on an AC? Remember, you're still dealing with humans and an opinion.
Right.
That's what people don't think. They don't go through okay, let's just show them the $15,000 AC. We just put it in. It's brand new. You can see my dollar amount. I'm not saying give me 15, but hey, look at the other stuff. Maybe you can add a % over here and a % over there. That's really what you're trying to do, is you're trying to influence the thought process the best you can.
Okay, thank you. I think our biggest fear in this is the garage, not having one, but I think most people, a lot of people use their garage to store their Christmas tree, their car outside anyway.
A lot of people do. That's true.
All right. How do I get credit for this class?
You got here later, didn't you?
I got here a couple minutes after 12.
Did we get you signed up for CE?
No.
Okay, it's $15. It's $15 for 2 hours.
Okay. Now, does this CE count for my,
Licensing.
no, my first year renewal?
That's a Bianca question. Bianca, do you know?
That is a great question. It just depends. There are certain ones that do fit and some certain ones that don't. Ultimately, it will be okay for you to have. It'll just be education under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a certain description. Maybe I should Judy.
Okay. Can I ask her first?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I have so many
You
credits.
may not want to spend $15 for fun if you don't need it.
I don't know if I need it.
So, this was great. I appreciate it.
Did it help?
It did help, but I think it would help more if I could get the slides. Is that possible? Can I get the slides or
Yep.
have them print them out here? Because then.
Let me see if I have your email in my phone. Hold on a second. If
Because
I have
then-
your email, I'll send it. If I don't,
Okay.
then I'll just see it.
Because then I can, when I'm going over doing my comps, I have something that I can, especially in the market now where you have a lot of sellers that are well, my house is worth this, and this is what I want the number to be. It's so great if I can show them the method to how we get to the numbers that we're getting to, and the reason we're doing that. So that would be so helpful. And then I have more time to review it. You know, it's
Yeah,
better
yeah.
when you can kind of go through it piece by piece over and over.
Totally understand. Okay, I'm putting you in real quick. I don't have your
You don't
email.
have my email?
No, which is.
That's
I thought I had
crazy.
put it- I don't have you on the phone. I thought I did. Okay, give me your cell number real quick.
682-240-4129.
Okay, and your email.
Bianca, BIANCA, Jameson, JAMISON,
Okay.
@kw.com.
Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. All right. I'll send you the slides real quick.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, of
I
course, of
really
course.
appreciate that. I had a house that, it's like these numbers are they're dropping so quickly, right? So there's one house that I put under contract, and the comps in the neighborhood were like 350, easy.
Mm-hmm.
We put under contract at 310.
Mm-hmm.
This is the appraisal came back at 315. It came back over.
Okay.
The comps were saying 350. I was thinking that this was.
You thought you were gonna have a slam dunk.
Yeah, I know. And then when it came back at 315, I was like, man, well, I'm so glad we didn't.
Yeah.
You know, go over.
Yeah.
Based on what the numbers said, but the numbers just changed so drastically so quickly.
Yep.
Another one,
Hey, the good news is it came in.
yeah, it did, 'cause that's all I cared about. I was like, well, it was a moment of burn. And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let's move forward, onward.
Yep.
And then there was another one, what was it? The other one that I have under contract, when we were talking about putting it on the market, probably beginning of the year, or spring, it was like 330, right? 330 to 350. 350 was like top of the market, 330 was average, median, on the lower end. And I'm like, okay, we can get this sold at 330. 2 months later, we put it on the market, what, June? Yeah, June. And it's been on the market, it just went under contract a week ago at $299.
June, July, August, September, October. Holy moly.
It's been crazy, and all the offers I've gotten are the lowball offers, the investor offers.
Yep.
And even this one, this is still an investor, they gave full price, but you know, they're asking for an arm and a leg. But this one offers an offer, you know?
Yep.
But I'm like, I did not expect it to be this way, and it was like right at the summer where everything just dipped.
Yep.
Crazy.
Okay, I'm sending that to you. Jameson's JAMISON.
JAMISON, yes.
Got it. Okay. Still being processed. Hold on, it's downloading, then I'll send it to you. Let me run to the restroom and I'll be right back in case you have any other questions.
Mark, I was emailing title, or so I thought, to schedule it, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh no, that's Supreme. I was like, whoops. And well, no, I thought that was, in my head, I thought it was title. I was in the middle of a class at the same time. I was taking an appraisal class, and so I was just emailing quickly, and I thought I was talking to the title company. So I didn't realize it until she responded, and I was like, oh no, this isn't title, this is Supreme. Okay. No, nope. It was a. Oh, I believe so. I feel like I know that Bart Williams sounds familiar, but this was Jefferson Mm. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. We don't like those. We don't, yeah, we don't like those people. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. Okay, you sure you don't want me to send a text out? You got it? Or you want me to send it out? Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, thanks so much. Talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Did the market drop a quarter? Did you see anything on the news? I was teaching, they made the announcement, they made the announcement.
Fed cuts rates by another quarter, yes, another
Perfect.
quarter point.
That's all we care about.
But the blackout scares cat in it. I don't.
Market, the rates went down. Our mortgage
So-
rates went up because of whatever the Fed said. They cut a quarter, but when the data, they can't get data for December, we're all expecting it to get dropped again a quarter. But if they don't get the government open back up, what
So,
is what my guess is.
cause rates were 6.19 yesterday, right?
I mean, I was quoting 6%.
So 6%.
Yeah.
And then, so it's 5.75?
That has nothing to do.
Nothing.
The Fed has nothing to do with the mortgage-backed security market. That, the Fed rate is what the banks, what the federal government, the Fed central bank, lends money to a bank for overnight lending. Doesn't have anything to do with the mortgage market.
Okay, okay. Okay. So why do we care about that then?
Why do we care? Because that influences the bond market, which influences the mortgage market.
Gotcha.
Oh, dude, my little clicker.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, here it is.
Is that it? Okay.
I was like, I know I got it somewhere.
Yeah, I love having conversations around stuff like that because I don't really, I'm not.
You'll grow in time,
Yeah.
you know?
Over time, that's very true because over time I've picked up pieces
Yeah.
that, the next time makes a little more sense. It makes
That's
a
right.
little more sense the next time. And, yeah, I try not to understand everything, just get what I can and keep moving forward.
What did you do before this?
Banking.
Are you dual career right now?
No,
You're full-time?
I've been full-time for 10 years. With Keller Williams.
For some reason in my mind, you were doing something else.
Well, I
You
have
have-
children. I have small children, so I was.
In my mind, though, you have another, it just, from when I think of you, I think you've got another job.
No.
I don't know why. For some reason, I thought you were nursing. I could have you completely confused with somebody
I was
else.
thinking of another lady. But no, I've been full-time. I'm not here all the time
Yeah.
because I usually work after COVID. Like everybody else, I went home and never came back.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Do you
I'm trying
miss
to
it?
get back in, huh?
Are you ever gonna start coming in more?
No, that's the goal. That's the goal. So I went to the ALC clinic, when was that, last week?
Yeah.
And so the goal is to start to come back in at least twice a week,
Okay,
Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Okay.
And my project days. If I come in more, great, but those are my days.
how old are the kids now? What's their school ages?
10 and 8.
Okay, so they're
So they're.
they're in
much
school
older
way
now.
more involved now, doing all their sports and everything.
All the things.
So you
which
got
is great
time to-
For me, because that's when I do
Yep.
most of my
Yep.
legion is in the evenings with them. But I'm restructuring, I'm in a restructuring phase. I was using your office today.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
This one, you can use this one.
Yes. Yep.
I like yours because I can face away from the window. That's my biggest thing with coming into the office is I feel like I just want to distracted.
Yeah, kind of work in here. You can, like I tell everybody, you can use, like Teresa uses my office a lot. You can always use my office. If I'm here, I'm not in there. If I'm in there, no one will come down and see me. It's worthless. I've got to be out here where I'm a resource, you know. Otherwise, no one will come and talk to me.
Yeah. No, I like working from home because I feel like I can hunker down, but here, I feel like you can be more productive. You just have to kind of tuck away your stuff.
Well, and you at least get to exchange ideas here, you know, in theory,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Having those conversations is very important because the conversations that I'm having are conversations with my clients about how to help them, but there's no conversations around how to help me because I'm not
Yes.
putting myself in those positions.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But at least here, you're around people doing the same thing,
Yeah.
you know,
it's-
which should breed activity. Activity breeds activity, right?
Yes, I have found this. I'm definitely finding that out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I've got all my stuff.
Thank you again for the class.
Absolutely.
I may come and speak to you. I have a client who's got a list to buy,
Yeah?
and they've done a bunch of renovations to their property. I haven't seen the inside yet, that's what they told me. So,
And now they want all that money back.
now they want all the money back, so it'll be very interesting once I see what it looks like, and I run the comps, which is why
Pull-
what is so important.
Get all your receipts and tell them somewhere between 30 and 40 cents on the dollar, if you provide all the receipts to the appraiser, is about where they're gonna be at. That's a good starting point
30, 40 cents on the dollar.
of
based
the
on their
receipts.
Yeah, that's good as well. I'm gonna
Just,
put it-
that at least gives them a thought process, because if they think they're getting 100%, they're just wrong.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Alright, thank you.
See you,
Go
Bianca.
ahead.